Good day, everyone, and this is about debriefing. Nurses always tell me that they need debriefing, and this is why I made this presentation, and I hope it will help you. My name is Emma Renshaw, and I'm going to take you through 7 phases of debriefing. This was initially developed by someone named Jeffrey Mitchell, and he calls it the critical incident stress debriefing model. The first phase is the introduction phase. So you can do this exercise by yourself, and of course now you're not going to say, "Hi Emma Renshaw, I'm Emma Renshaw." You're just going to think about who you are in that moment and what are your thoughts, and just become aware of who you are. You can also do this exercise in a small group and you can call your friends together, call your colleagues together, and maybe you have experienced the same traumatic incident, or perhaps you each experienced your own traumatic incident. Whatever the case may be, get a group together or do this exercise by yourself. In this first phase, become quiet within yourself, become still. Make contact with who you are in that moment. When you are with colleagues who you know well, it might be a bit silly to tell them, "Hi, you guys, I'm Emma Renshaw," because they know who you are, but you can just share with them who you are in that moment. So take a few minutes, pause this presentation, and do phase 1, please. See you in phase 2. Phase 2, the facts. So we are moving along and we are getting closer to the facts of the matter. Just let me remind you that this exercise may bring up some emotions within you that might be a bit difficult to make contact with or deal with. So have a friend on standby, or even a professional helper on standby, to help you work through emotions if it brings up difficult emotions that's a bit too big for yourself to handle. Also, if you're doing this exercise in a group, agree among yourselves how you would like to respect one another and keep everything confidential that you discuss in the group. So before you continue, please do that first. Stop the presentation, think about confidentiality and who you can contact if these emotions that come up is a bit too big to handle. All right, let's continue with phase 2, the facts. If you are on your own, write down what happened. So you can keep it brief. It doesn't need an elaboration, but just think about who, what, when, where of the incident that happened. In your group, you can share amongst yourselves. If you in the group want to remain silent, but just be in your head and think about what happened, that's also fine. Participation is voluntary. So just then give an indication to the group that the next member can speak. Right. Give each other a chance to speak. Do phase 2. I'll see you in phase 3 again. Stop or pause the presentation now and do phase 2. Phase 3. This is about what was your first thought when this incident happened. We are getting closer to the heart of the matter. So write down if you are by yourself, or just think about it, or share in your small group. What was the very first thought that came up when this incident happened? Pause the presentation and do phase 3. Phase 4, reactions. This is the very heart of the CISD model, and it brings you to those deeper emotions that you have experienced because of the incident that happened. So think about, write down, or share with your friends in the small group. What is the very worst thing about this event for you personally. Listen carefully and gently encourage one another to add something if you wish to do so. Take enough time to think about this and make contact with the deeper emotions that you experienced because of this event. Feelings like anger, shock, frustration, feeling alone, feeling a loss, whatever the case may be, take a few moments to make contact with the reactions, your reactions to the incident. Pause the presentation and do phase 4. Phase 5. After completing phase 4, which made you aware of the emotions that you're experiencing, it comes as no surprise that after the incident, you might have been struggling with signs and symptoms that was caused by the incident, and perhaps you don't even connect these signs and symptoms with the incident. But since the incident, you might have been struggling with headaches, backache, neck pain, nightmares, flashbacks, or just feelings like feeling tired all the time, or having difficulty to go to sleep. Whatever the case may be, use this phase, pause the video, discuss or think about what have you been dealing with because of this incident. Right, so pause the video. I'll see you in phase 6. Phase 6. Now, phase 6 is about the group leader or someone who would facilitate this process to teach you about normal signs and symptoms when a person have experienced stress or a traumatic event. So I would like to encourage you and say to you that the symptoms that you have been experiencing are most probably normal reactions to a very traumatic event. So I want to put you at ease and ask you to relax about what you're experiencing and just be aware that this is a very human response to a difficult situation. If you need some more information on specific questions that might have come up, please consult a trustworthy source, someone that you trust that will give you, who will be able to give you the answers, or you can consult trustworthy sources on the internet. If you search the keywords on Google, look for information that seems trustworthy and read that information. And if you still have questions, try to contact someone who will be able to give you some information on what you are experiencing. So pause the video here, think about some more questions you have on your signs and symptoms, and share in your group, if you are in a group, some information about what have you learned about your signs and symptoms, your emotions, your reactions, and how you can support one another in this phase. Pause the presentation. Phase 7 is about re-entry. It's about now taking up your drum again and making a wonderful sound and a warm, comforting presence for those around you. And to re-enter the workplace, your world, your life, we need to continue with self-care. And the South African Federation of Mental Health made these cartoons available for us to think about self-care. And it's fun ways to think about how can you build self-care into your life or continue with self-care. So pause the video here and discuss in your group or sit and think about your own self-care and how perhaps you can use some of these fun ideas in your own life for self-care. This brings us to the end of the debriefing exercise. I really hope that you found it meaningful and that you could work through some of those reactions and emotions and that you feel relieved and ready to take up your drum again and make some comforting and wonderful nursing music and be the best that you can be. This is some more information if you need to read more on trauma or burnout in nurses. And I wish you all of the best. Keep well and goodbye.